Hello everybody, welcome to this session. In this session, we are going to talk about Chapter 8, the first part. Chapter 8, Lecture 8 is about AI in research development. AI can be done and used in many different ways. There are many different commercial applications. And in academia, we specifically focus on several areas. The first one is about research. How does AI help with our research development? In this chapter, we are going to address 5 different elements. The first one is how AI can create ideas, generate ideas for us. The second area is about how AI can do literature review for us. The section 3 is about how AI can generate hypotheses or develop theories for us. And then fourth area is about methodological guidance that AI can provide for us. And then the last section, we are going to talk about automatic tools that AI can help us with for our research development. The first section is about idea creation and development. AI can help with different areas in research development. The first one is about idea creation and development. In this section, we are going to learn a couple of things. We want to introduce the traditional process of idea generation and development. In doing research, the first one is, what do we do? The creating a new idea that hasn't been done before, it's actually quite troublesome. A lot of students going through months of a juggling process still cannot generate a proper idea for the thesis, for their research idea. So we want to know about that traditional process, and then we want to illustrate how AI can provide automated solutions. How can they help with idea creation? We want to discuss some case examples of how AI maybe can help with idea creation. However, the major part is about we want to understand the potential issues. Yes, we know AI can do a lot of things for us, and many students have used GPT or many other tools to generate outputs for their assignments or for their maybe even for their thesis. But there's a potential issues that we need to address, and that's probably the major things of the whole course too. The first idea of this session is about the traditional process of generating a research idea. For example, what kind of thesis topic that we want to do. That's probably for year 1 student, that's probably the most troublesome things. Which research area, which research topic might be good for their thesis? The initial ideation is quite troublesome. It takes a lot of time to think it through. And it also requires huge effort in literature review. And this is the area that lots of students are having trouble with because it requires analytical skills in reading literature, in reading papers and articles. What do we know? Which paper, which article might be important, might be relevant, might be helpful, useful? And once we have done that, we know, okay, what is done before in the literature, what haven't been done before, what might be knowledge gap, what might be the research problems that we can maybe focus on. Then we want to create some sort of hypothesis, or we maybe create some sort of theoretical model. And how do you do the hypothesis? Then we will need to know the relationship between 2 factors. You know, what is A factor leads to B factor? What's the relationship in the literature? Why there's such a relationship? How can we formulate such a relationship and make it a hypothesis? This process is very time consuming and it requires a solid effort. From a professor's point of view, when I grade students' assignments or grade their theses, you look at the thesis literature, their references, how much they have done their literature review probably will lead to how good the thesis will be. If they have done a really thorough literature review and a really solid hypothesis development, then the rest is much easier. And if you haven't done that, the thesis quality will not be as good. And then once you have the hypothesis or that's a theoretical model, then we want to know how to design research. When we say research design, I mean, okay, we have idea, we have a hypothesis. And then with that idea and hypothesis, how do you do it? How do you collect data? How do you analyze data? This process takes technical skills. Typically, students will need to go through research methodology courses in order to do that. And there's a data collection techniques and methods, and then data analysis tools and techniques that we need to learn. This process actually takes quite a significant amount of time. And then once we have analyzed data, collect data, analyze data properly, then okay, we got results, we got findings. So what do? We need to write it up. Writing, particularly for non-native speakers, takes time. Even for native speakers, writing is different from talking. Native speakers can talk quite well, but that doesn't mean they can write well. Writing requires logical thinking, critical reasoning. So that process takes time. So the traditional research process is very time consuming and require lots of effort. And once we have done writing, how do we publish it, how we disseminate it, which means how to send it out. Make people know about our research. That process is also kind of troublesome. Generative AI now can transform this process. We kind of like create lots of ideas quite quickly. However, it creates efficiency. Quality might be also quite good. Consistency might also quite much improved. But maybe there's a problem about originality because AI creates things for everybody. Everybody is kind of going through a similar topic. And then it lacks a criticality or authenticity. How real it's those things that AI produced for us. We may not have authenticity or we may not have a creativity anymore. That efficiency and quality may be more standardized and consistent, but originality and the creativity might suffer. So this is the transitional process that we are going through. The AI nowadays can automatically create ideas for us. We call it augmented ideation. You give AI some ideas, some directions. AI now can give you lots of ideas about underexplored areas. There's research concepts areas may not be done before. Traditionally, it requires lots of literature review, lots of expertise to know what has been done, what hasn't been done before. But now AI, with the large language models, it can synthesize research directions and text or data sets quite quickly and facilitate augmented ideation quite fast. Augmented ideation means you can generate idea quite automatically, quite fast, kind of added to your original concept, original idea. And then now they can process this process really fast and give researchers different ideas. Maybe this idea is not good. Maybe your direction needs some improvement. Maybe your existing assumptions may not be quite appropriate. AI now with this augmented ideation can help to shape the direction. The examples here is, for example, you want to do a research, you want to write a thesis in the direction of maybe AI, but AI in what? Or maybe let's say AI in maybe the digital divide. Digital divide is a concept. AI is a concept. You want to go into these directions, then you will need to specify what do you mean by digital divide. There's a specific definition in the literature. Like digital devices create different kind of separation between groups. That is the concept of digital divide. How is it defined in the context of AI? And what areas of our digital divide of AI that you want to investigate? Do you want to focus on technology? Do you want to focus on societal issues? If you want to focus on technology implications, then you probably will project some sort of technology directions. If you want to focus on societal issues, it probably have some sort of hypothesis. AI will create some sort of societal divide, making some groups of people more divided than ever. If you want to focus on political, economic perspectives or cultural identity issues, then you will get into different kinds of literature. The political issues probably focus on political divide, and cultural issues probably focus on the cultural norms, etc. AI right now can, based on your directions and your input, to process these vast data sets and integrate different kinds of perspectives and get into directions for us quite more quickly. So this is how AI can help us with this, ideation. However, there are lots of issues involved. What are the potential issues involved? AI doesn't think like humans. It operates on pattern recognitions from large data sets. It's based on statistics probabilities. What might be most recognizable, what might be more popular, what might be more fitting with the patterns, what might be more statistically probable, those will be the output that you will produce. But that doesn't mean those outputs are more properly. It can summarize existing sources quickly, but it doesn't know rigorous standards. It doesn't focus on what might be more appropriate. And also, AI does not know theoretical convincing frameworks as much as experts do. What might be more important work that has been done before in the research area, in the digital divide, in AI area, that we need to be aware of. AI probably doesn't focus on that. It just gives you the patterns, give you the outputs that it can find quickly. Also, AI does not address ethical issues. It doesn't know problematic ethical situations. For example, some data sources may not be ethical. It may come from data sources that from areas that may be violating personal copyrights or maybe personal images, personal privacies. But AI doesn't know that. AI just processes data, and the data match the pattern recognitions, then the output will be produced. It doesn't really understand the ethical background at all. Therefore, these potential issues will need to be addressed, and that's what we are going to talk about continuously through the later chapters also. Therefore, in conclusion, AI is a very good tool. It's very efficient and maybe even very creative because you can generate some alternative perspectives. But intellectual contribution still needs a researcher's own critical judgment, critical evaluation. It's a thesis, student thesis, authors and researchers. We need to think about, what the outputs AI produced for us are good or not good, and we need to match with the existing literature standards and the ethical considerations in order to utilize AI's output and incorporate AI's outputs into our research. That's the concerns we need to be very careful about. Thank you very much. That's the end of this session.